playing with a ring on the wedding ring finger. This is his left hand, yes? Has anybody read my book, Royal Marriage Secrets? Me too. The more of you have read it, you should go and read it, because you can learn from it that in the Middle Ages, wedding rings were worn on the right hand, as they still are in some European countries today, in Spain, in Italy. And Catholics in England wore their wedding ring on the right hand until the 18th century. When the hand got moved to the left hand, I don't quite know, but at some point between the 16th century and the 18th century, and I don't know why. So, is this a wedding ring finger or not? Right, good. Somebody has remembered what I said earlier, that maybe this picture is a mirror image, in which case the finger that he's playing with is the right hand, which wouldn't be obvious to us as a marriage finger today, but maybe was obvious at the time when the portrait was painted. Okay, now you suggested that maybe this is to do with the death of his wife. What period actually are we talking about for the original of this portrait? If it's a portrait of the King of Richard III, 1483 to 1485. We're talking about the period of his kingship, and you were focusing on a particular date and the death of his wife. Yes. So you think he's taking his wedding ring off? Something like that. Well, maybe that's what it is. But the other interesting thing, you remember I gave the talk, the title, The Last Days of Richard III, and I said I took the title from the book I wrote about him, the book which led to the archaeology university. But the book has other features. It's looking at the last 5 or 6 months of Richard's life. Now, the Richard in the Tudor image, how did he spend the last 5 or 6 months of his life? He spent it worrying about what was going to happen when Henry VII came and dethroned him at Battle of Bosworth. And we actually get this in Tudor accounts. If you read Tudor accounts of Richard's reign, they talk a lot about what Henry was doing, as though everybody knew that Henry was going to come and win back. But of course, Richard didn't know that Henry was going to come and win back. And Richard didn't spend the last 6 months of his life worrying about the Battle of Bosworth, which he never heard of. He spent the last 6 months of his life worrying about something else, which should focus our attention. Well, thank you for the suggestion. It's possible. Yes, what had happened was that in the spring of the last year, his wife, Queen Anne Neville, died. Their son, their only son, had died some months previously. He suddenly found himself king with no wife and with no heir to the throne. And what would you expect a king to be thinking about in that position? He's got to think about the future. And if you look at the actual document, the evidence that we have for what he spent the last 5 months of his life on, he spent them negotiating for a new marriage. Now, one thing which one sometimes did in those days when negotiating marriages with foreigners, you'd never seen the person, they'd never seen you, so you sent a portrait. Is it possible that the original of this portrait was one that was painted to be sent to Spain and or Portugal to be shown to the kings, queens in those countries, and possibly also to the intended bride, but probably shouldn't have quite so much. It's speculation. We don't have any proof about it. But given what Richard III was doing at the time when the original of this painting was probably painted, it is a possibility that it was a portrait that was intended to be sent abroad to be seen by potential brides